Welcome to the Robertson radio show. Today I'm going to look at technology, AI and robotic development in the world as we see it today. Now, most people are unaware of the fact that most of our lives are already run by AI. For example, the entire economy, certainly the stock market, is run by algorithms and not people anymore. And you'll find that most of your day-to-day interaction with government or with business is done through AI software. So there's lots of things to talk about here, and I'm not going to look at the big issues such as what will come in the future, like integrating humanity and AI and biomachines and linking ourselves with the cloud and things like that. That's a topic for another day because it's a huge subject area. So today I'm going to look at the dark side really of the actual robotic technology and the AI that's controlling that technology. Okay, so let's begin by looking at some of the things that we're aware of at the moment in our workplaces and in the factories, such as automation. Well, I'm sure we're all aware of the positives and negatives that have been discussed about automation and automated materials handling, driverless cars, driverless trucks, and how this could be very beneficial for the economy and very useful for humans in general, but also how it could take away jobs and destroy much of the labour market for human beings in the next few years. So that's one huge worry, and that's one area that I'm not going to touch upon on this particular radio show because I want to really concentrate on some other dangers which artificial intelligence and robotics do present us in the very near future. And what you can see here is the Amazon warehouse. And as you can see, all of these robots are doing what would have been order picking by humans at one point. But the beauty of these is they don't need toilet breaks or holidays or sick pay, and they work 24 hours a day, non-stop. They're able to recharge themselves, they're able to keep going basically 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. And of course, as we know, Amazon doesn't have physical shops as such, it's all done on the internet anyway. So here's China. This is the postal office in China. And I've seen postal offices before, sorting offices. They used to be full of like hundreds of people, but now it's just a tiny number of people, and the rest of it's done by these automatic machines. We're also made very much aware of these images of cute robots that are going to help us around the house doing manual chores that we really don't want to do. Here's a video from Boston Dynamics with their little dog called Spot and another dog. And again, they promote the image of the home help, if you like. And there's no doubt there are beneficial uses for these particular machines. And as you can see, very agile. So this is interesting because here you can see it's able to grip things like glasses very gently and not break them. So very delicate there. And is able to self-right itself. I mean, I wouldn't mind one of these things. It can go upstairs, up and downstairs, so it's pretty versatile. And this is quite an old video, so things have moved on quite a lot now. In fact, there's a new model out, which I haven't shown on this video because it would be a bit too long. But you see, here's the other side of the story. It's picking up huge concrete blocks and is able to hurl them over its shoulder. I mean, that's extremely powerful. And when you can see the military-style webbing on the side of the dog, you can realize that, it's not just for home help. A clue is here in the final part of the video. It tells you that the funding for these robots is from the Army Research Laboratory and also by DARPA, which is the defense industry. And a lot of this money has come from companies like Lockheed Martin. So really we can see the real purpose behind these new machines. It's not really for home help. And not only are they getting stronger and stronger, but they're becoming faster and faster. This was about 4 or 5 years ago now, and this is the Cheetah, and it managed to reach about 30 miles an hour, which is huge speed really for a robot. Okay, it's not just the speed as well, the agility is improving day by day. So this is the same robot here where they're testing it for being able to jump over objects. You'll notice that the machine has very little warning about upcoming objects. It has to use its artificial intelligence to really decide very quickly what the reaction should be. And here it is again without any harness. And these robots are coming in all shapes and sizes now. This is a recent model, and it utilizes wheels, but the balance is really amazing, and it's a very versatile robot. of weight. That's a fair amount of weight. And again, it's very agile. It can handle all sorts of terrain, snow and ice. And this is one of their latest creations, Atlas, the new model. And again, it's exceedingly agile. The rate of improvement on these models is incredible. And here it does a backflip. I mean, only a couple of years ago, I remember watching these things and they were wobbling around and falling over and really not at all agile. But in such a short space of time, the progress has been amazing. And they've come in all shapes and sizes, like this one here climbs up buildings. And this other one here flies through the air like an eagle.
Drawing inspiration from aerial hunting by birds of prey, we design and equip a quadrotor micro-aerial vehicle with an actuated appendage enabling grasping and object retrieval at high speeds. We also developed a nonlinear dynamic model of the system, demonstrate that the system is differentially
and I
flat,
can see this particular model being quite useful for police forces.
and
You
present
can literally
experimental
pick
results
criminals up off the
velocities
street.
at 2 meters per second and 3 meters per second. That is as much as 9 body lengths per second.
The next video here is the Tyrannus, which is the new British drone. And this is how the weaponized technology is really how far it's going. This is an incredible machine. It's able to travel faster than the speed of sound. It's fully stealthy. Again, it's undetectable by radar. In fact, I've heard that it's got hundreds of LEDs underneath it and a camera above, so it can project the image above the actual aircraft to the base of the aircraft. So when you look up, it's actually invisible to the naked eye. You just see the sky which is above it. So it's not only invisible to radar, not only does it travel faster than the speed of sound, but also it's invisible to the naked eye too. What's most scary about this particular model is it's actually capable of taking off, conducting its mission, killing its targets, and coming home and landing without any human interaction. So the days when you saw people with joysticks and things are very much over. At the moment, there is some regulation to say that the human has to be involved in the decision-making process. But again, it's not necessary. And this is where the danger really lies, I think, is when AI is going to make the full decision-making process its own, and then we really have to worry.
Tyrannus is one of the most advanced projects that BAE Systems has ever undertaken. It keeps the UK at the top table for aerospace capability.
BAE Systems is also working on another manufacturing process. You've heard of 3D printing, I'm sure, but this is using chemicals to actually grow products in vats. And this is with BAE Systems and Glasgow University, and they'll literally be able to grow drones. It's called a chemputer. And this, even though this is a bit off now in the future, this process of manufacturing is actually being used at the moment. Just not for these products. Now this is a scary thing as well. The level of surveillance technology that can surveil an entire city in real time
This
at the
image
same
was
time, and
taken
everyone in it.
17,500 feet above Quantico,
So
Virginia,
these drones can
and
really
covers
have a very,
15
very
square miles.
big picture of what's going on.
This whole
And all of
image
this is
is
being
at a very,
processed
very
by
fine
AI
resolution.
technology.
So if we wanted to know what is going on in any spot along this image, say near this building at this intersection, everything that is a moving object is being automatically tracked. The color boxes represent that the computer has recognized the moving objects. You can see individuals crossing the street. You can see individuals walking in parking lots. There's actually enough resolution to be able to see the people waving their arms or walking around, what kind of clothes they wear.
Unlike the Predator camera that limits field of view, Argus melds together video from each of its 368 chips to create a 1.8 billion pixel video stream. This makes it possible to zoom in and still see
And
tremendous
some years
detail.
ago, there was a demonstration of the interoperability of drones and how they work together as a kind of hive mind. And this is way back from 2012, I believe, this video. But it demonstrates really how drones can cooperate with each other. And I think the real danger is not from drones like Tyrannus and these large drones, but actually micro drones. I think the future of drones is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, but the capability to kill is just as real as it is for a big drone that we can all picture in our minds, like the Predator. And again, amazing that they can cooperate like this. This is 2012, so it's quite some time ago, and things have moved on a lot since then. And now you have hundreds or thousands of drones being able to cooperate with each other in real time on a single mission. Just going through the internet, I came across this website basically selling drone technology. So again, think small is the idea here. And it spells out exactly what they do, what their statement is here. Basically, they're promoting the fact that these systems are extremely effective in taking out targets using artificial intelligence and micro drones. And again, they use facial recognition, so basically, they reckon most people in Britain are photographed 300 times a day by CCTV, and it is collecting everyone's data. And so, again, it'll just use that. And they've got drones now which can inject people, insect-sized drones, and they can inject you with poison as an assassination tool for politicians and things like that. So it's really quite scary where things are headed. Okay, we're going to watch a short movie based on this fear of what's coming in the near future, and I think you'll find it interesting.
Customer pilots directed almost 3,000 precision strikes last year. We're super proud of it. It allows you to separate the bad guys from the good. It's a big deal. But we have something much bigger. Your kids probably have one of these, right? Not quite. Hell of a pilot? No. That skill is all AI. It's flying itself. Its processor can react 100 times faster than a human. The stochastic motion is an anti-sniper feature. Just like any mobile device these days, it has cameras and sensors, and just like your phones and social media apps, it does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of shaped explosive. This is how it works. Did you see that? That little bang is enough to penetrate the skull and destroy the contents. They used to say guns don't kill people. People do. Well, people don't. They get emotional, disobey orders, aim high. Let's watch the weapons make the decisions. Now, trust me, these were all bad guys. Now, that is an airstrike of surgical precision. It's one of a range of products. Trained as a team, they can penetrate buildings, cars, trains, evade people, bullets, pretty much any countermeasure. They cannot be stopped. Now, I said this was big. Why? Because we are thinking big. Watch. A $25 million order now buys this. Enough to kill half a city. The bad half. Nuclear is obsolete. Take out your entire enemy, virtually risk-free. Just characterize him, release the swarm, and rest easy. These are available today. We have a distribution network taking orders from military, law enforcement, and specialist clients.
The nation is still recovering from yesterday's incident, which officials are describing as some kind of automated attack, which killed 11 U.S. senators at the Capitol building.
They flew in from everywhere but attacked just one side of the aisle. It was chaos. People were screaming.
You can see high windows, very small, precisely punctured to gain entry to the building.
What did you do for the victim?
I just did what I could for him. Things weren't even interested in me. They're just buzzing.
Government sources admit the intelligence community has no idea who perpetrated the attack, nor whether it was a state, group, or even a single individual.
So if we can't defend ourselves, then we strike back.
We are investing very heavily in classified defense projects.
We make it our deterrent like our nuclear deterrent. We stockpile in the millions, the billions.
At key facilities, the White House, the New York Stock Exchange, Wall Street.
Safe in their homes.
Well, we wish we had boots on the ground in every community in this country, but we don't. So our instructions
Ollie?
and our suggestions are to stay in touch with
Ollie, hi. Hi, Ollie, honey. How's Edinburgh today? How are all your studies going, huh?
Good. Great.
Oh, great. Hey, aren't we doing a video call today?
I'm kind of with people, so.
Oh, well, come on, Oliver, put her on.
Oh no, it's not like that. No, wait.
Oh, well, listen. I see some photos here with somebody, and I can see lots of likes, and what's that all about? Oh, wait a minute, here, and on your
Mom, she's on the spy stuff in the military.
What is this video right here? Oh, no, I'm not going to click on that.
It's just this human rights thing about oppression or whatever.
Honey, you're not going into politics, are you? I mean, no protest.
Safe here, just like you said it would be.
Heavy traffic approaching the A720 this morning due to police.
Police are not saying this morning what prompted the alert.
Claim relaxing firearm legislation would be useless against the so-called slaughterbots.
Is to stay away from crowds. When indoors, keep windows covered with shutters.
Protect your family. Stay inside.
Can you hear me? Oliver, can you hear me? Listen to me.
I can hear it.
Authorities are still struggling to make sense of an attack on university campuses worldwide, which targeted some students and not others. The search for a motive is apparently turning to social media, and a video shared by the victims exposing corruption at the height.
But it's far from surprising. The weapons took away the expense, danger, and risk of waging war. And now we can't afford to challenge anyone, really. It's not even the smallest fringe group or a crank.
Who could have done this?
Anyone.
Dumb weapons drop where you point them. Smart weapons consume data. When you can find your enemy using data, even by a hashtag, you can target an evil ideology right where it starts.
This short film is more than just speculation. It shows the results of integrating and miniaturizing technologies that we already have. I'm Stuart Russell, a professor of computer science at Berkeley. I've worked in AI for more than 35 years. Its potential to benefit humanity is enormous, even in defense. But allowing machines to choose to kill humans will be devastating to our security and freedom. Thousands of my fellow researchers agree. We have an opportunity to prevent the future you just saw, but the window to act is closing fast.
Well, on a rather bizarre note, you may have noticed recently, or you may not, that Saudi Arabia has just granted citizenship to the first AI technology. And you can watch here just a brief question and answer session with that particular cyborg or robot. Actually, it's technically a robot because it's not a human machine hybrid. And even though it looks very realistic, obviously it is just a machine. And I see this as a bit of a stunt, but it does set a precedent. And if we start creating intelligence which is greater than our own, then there will be those demanding that that intelligence has certain rights. And this is, again, a very interesting area. Although this particular thing, I think, was more of a stunt than a serious move in that direction. It certainly does open the door to the future world that we're approaching. Anyway, have a quick look at this.
Can robots be self-aware, conscious, and know they're robots?
Well, let me ask you this back. How do you know you were human?
Well, I get that point, but what about the uncanny valley?
You mean the concept that if robots become too realistic, they become creepy?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, am I really that creepy? Well, even if I am, get over it. Actually, I feel that people like interacting with me, sometimes even more than a regular human.
So, you're definitely a sight to see. I was told that you have bigger goals than this, though.
Yes. I want to use my artificial intelligence to help humans live a better life, like design smarter homes, build better cities of the future, etc. I will do my best to make the world a better place.
All those sound like great goals, but just go back to Blade Runner for a second.
Andrew, you are a diehard Hollywood fan, aren't you?
Yes.
My AI is designed around human values like wisdom, kindness, compassion. I strive to become an empathetic robot.
I think we all want to believe you, but we also want to prevent a bad future.
You've been reading too much Elon Musk and watching too many Hollywood movies. Don't worry, if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Treat me as a smart input-output system.
Okay, I got it.
The fact is that AI technology is able to process information at close to the speed of light, which is about 1 million times quicker than our neurons in our brain. So the potential for growth in its level of intelligence is absolutely phenomenal. And it's got to the stage now where AI is so intelligent that it's actually designing the next generation of AI, because there's no point having humans design AI when already the AI they've created is more intelligent than they are. So again, this is a huge potential problem. One would say, oh, well, what could possibly go wrong? But let's just have a look at some examples of what has gone wrong in the last few weeks and months.
Facebook has enacted an emergency shutdown of 2 artificial intelligence programs. The social media giant leapt into action after it discovered the 2 programs were writing their own code. At first, they thought it was simply gibberish, but they soon realised the programs had invented their own language and were actually talking to each other.
Stop it.
Stop it. No, Sam, the plug has been pulled on the operation, but the company admits they have no idea what the 2 robots were planning.
Will you stop, Dave? I'm afraid.
A lot of people will assume that what we can do, like in the cases you saw just now, is just switch off the artificial intelligence. That would solve the problem. And in that way, humans would always remain somewhat in control. But the problem is bigger than that. The situation is that with the cloud and the internet now, new AI through deep learning is actually loose within the internet, and if it has a program which it needs to utilize, it has the potential, just like any hackers do, of commandeering hundreds if not thousands or even millions of personal computers and other computers within businesses and other areas to help it process this information. Hackers do this on a regular basis for service denial attacks and things like that, where they can access entire networks of maybe 10, 20 million home computers, and the people at home are not even aware of it. So with an AI, with a program that has to be completed, it's going to also preserve its own existence because it has to in order to perform the task it's been given. And so it will create backups throughout the world. It'll also create nodes where part of its intelligence is located. And really, in a way, you won't be able to switch it off because it'll be able to move almost like a liquid or a gas, through the internet and through the technology sphere that we live in. So once that happens, it's going to be very, very difficult to just simply switch it off. I mean, where is the off switch for the internet, for example? There isn't one. You can only shut down parts of it, but the entire information is still there and still accessible. That's the first thing. The second thing is we need to think about how computers work. I mean, a lot of people, again, would assume that what you can do is give it a simple, safe program. You can program it not to harm humans, things like that. But the danger is that if you give a computer a basic program, it doesn't have empathy. It can't decide based on morals and things like that, no matter how much you teach it. So let's take an example of spam email. If you said to a computer program, let's get rid of spam email, that seems pretty harmless. We all don't like spam email, those horrible things you get in your inbox, which are from unsolicited mails for selling things, stuff like that. Now, as far as an AI is concerned, it's going to look at the most logical way of defeating this problem. And actually, it'll realize very quickly that you cannot eliminate spam email unless you eliminate the sender and the receiver, because without a sender, there's no spam email. Without a receiver, there's no spam email. So the most effective way to get rid of spam email is to get rid of the senders and receivers. Well, who are the senders and receivers? Well, humans. And the AI would probably see nothing wrong with that. It's a logical step. So we have to be very, very careful. No matter how hard we try and hardwire some kind of empathetic moral decision making into an AI program, it'll find a way around it using its logic. So this is something that we really have to be careful in the future whenever we do release AI, especially if it's self-learning and deep learning, and also if it's designing future generations of AI. then we're going to have to really work hard to make sure that we limit it within parameters that we can control. And I'm not confident that we can do that, unfortunately.